Hello everybody, it's Gary Hallican here, and if you saw my last figure review video, you will remember that I said I would probably not get all of the Eternals figures unless they went on even deeper clearance at my local GameStop. Well, they did. So my local GameStop, as in probably most of them, are having a 50% off all clearance items sale right now. So these figures I got for $4.50 each, just about, which compared to their original price of $25 or so is a really great deal. So you can check your local GameStop for these. So today we've got Druig, Kingo, Phastos, and Sprite. So this means I have all of the figures necessary to build the Gilgamesh Build-A-Figure, which we'll do together here in this video. And this will actually be my first Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, first one that I've completed the set in order to build the Build-A-Figure. So that's pretty interesting, and we'll see how that goes. So if you saw my previous video, you know I got Cersei and Makari, and they both had Build-A-Figure parts. So in this video, we'll check out these four, and we'll see what they look like. And there are other figures in this set. There is Icarus and Ajax, but they don't come with a Build-A-Figure part. Also, my GameStop didn't have those two. So this I'm going to consider to be pretty much the complete set, let's say. So as far as packaging goes, same as any other Marvel Legends that you're going to see. The logo on the top, photo on the side, well, a picture of the character on the side, picture on the back, little blurb about the character. I'm going to harp on this again. I know I did in my last video, but to me the pictures on the packaging of the Marvel Legends don't look that much like the actors. That one looks, I don't know, pretty much like, was it Kumail Nanjiani? I'm sure I said that wrong. Druig looks pretty much like him, like the actor there. So I don't know. These ones aren't the worst ones. I think these are maybe a little better than the Cersei and Makari ones that we saw last time. But anyway, that's it for the packaging. So we'll get them all out here and see what we think. By the way, before I get them out of their packages, I do want to point out, if you can see it here, there's a pretty good layer of dust on the top of each one of these. So that lets you know how popular these characters were. Anyway, now let's get them out and see what we think. Alright, so here they are out of the packages, and as I mentioned in my previous review, I know my lighting's not the best, but I'll bring each one up close to the camera and you'll see a good look at what they look like. These figures are aesthetically all really good looking figures. As I mentioned before, the costume design is probably the best thing about the Eternals movies. But there are a couple of these that are definitely standouts, and so we'll talk about each one of them here. So first up, we've got Druig, and he's got a really cool costume. Probably the most, you'll notice that I've had a lot of trouble getting Sprite to stand up, so that's probably the worst one as far as standing goes. You can see that she just fell over there, so we'll get to that one in a second. Anyway, as far as Druig goes, his costume looks really nice. It's got this nice gloss black and then red painted in all of these lines here. Not as much on the back. These should all be red as well. But you notice that more of the line work is painted, I think, on him than it was on Cersei and Makari. And I'll bring those figures in later. We'll look at them too. But aesthetically, I think this one is really good looking. He would look perfect right alongside with some Empire figures, you know, some Inquisitors or Stormtroopers or something like that. I think he would look great with that. He does suffer from the same issue as Cersei and Makari, that his suit is only two colors. So while the black and red look really nice, it could probably bring out some more detail with some more colors in there. And I think the head sculpt isn't too bad. I think that's not the worst likeness. However, you'll see here that he's got the longest skirt piece of any of these figures, so that's probably going to hinder his articulation quite a bit. But the gloss black and the red looks really good on that one. So next up we've got Kingo, and I would say this is the best looking figure out of the whole line. And the big reason why is, if you'll see here, Kingo has more than two colors on his suit. So he's got metallic purple, but he also has kind of this very dark gray, almost black color, and he has silver on the chest. And perhaps most importantly, he's got some of these gold lines painted in. So we saw that if you look at pictures of all the suits from the movie, pretty much all of the suits have some of this gold lining on it. But the Makari figure, for instance, didn't have any of that gold painted in, neither did the Cersei one. So I think Kingo is actually the best looking figure out of the entire series here. Of course, the back's not quite as detailed, no gold on the back there. Also, this is probably the best figure because he comes the closest to having any sort of accessory. He actually has two effect part hands here, which we'll see later on. So I'm going to say Kingo right now, I'm just going to say is probably the best figure out of this line, but we'll look at articulation in a little bit and see what all we get here. He again has a pretty long skirt piece, so it might hinder his articulation a little bit. So next up we've got Phastos here, and he also has a very good looking suit because it has more than two colors. You'll see he's got metallic purple and silver and some kind of blue-green on the chest, and also some of the gold lining. So again, the extra colors and this dark gray on the side. So he's probably got the most different colors on his suit, and that makes it look pretty good. But the suit's kind of simple otherwise. He's just got this really long skirt piece that doesn't really have as much detail on it, I think, as some of the other ones. And there's a little bit, I don't know, well, you can see it, a little bit of paint missing on his hair there. But otherwise, the face sculpt is pretty good. It's pretty good on all of these figures. So this one is very good looking as far as the suit goes. I had a little bit of trouble getting him to stand up as he's a little bit heavier. All these figures have different bodies, which is good. Gives more diversity to the line, but makes them look more like the actors, which is the important thing, I think. And his skirt, well, it's long. It's got some big cuts up the side, so I think that won't hinder his articulation as much. Let's see if he's going to stand up here. I don't think he will. There he goes. All right, so last one is Sprite. So as you saw, I had some trouble getting Sprite to stand up there. I think Sprite may be the weakest one. I think the head is too big for the body, and I don't think, based on what I remember from the movie, I don't think that's really the best likeness. I think that's maybe the worst likeness out of the series. I don't know. I haven't looked up pictures, so I could be wrong on that, but I think the head is definitely too big for the body. And the suit, well, it looks good, and there's lots and lots of detail. It also suffers from the same issue as Makari and Cersei's suit, that it's just two colors. It's very nice colors. It's green and silver, but just those two colors. And Sprite looks like is the only one who has a cape here, sort of a cape, a little bit, but I don't think that's going to hinder articulation very much. You can see she doesn't really have a long skirt piece that goes over the legs like the other ones, so that's not going to hinder articulation any. Okay, so that's all four new ones. So let's take a look at that articulation. They are all actually pretty good on these figures. You can see they're having a lot of trouble getting Sprite to stand up. All right, so Druig here, we'll start out with him. Look up that far, so he's got a good up look. As you saw if you saw my previous video with with Makari and Cersei, because of their long hair, they couldn't really look up at all. So you can look up that far, look down that far, so that's pretty good. Side to side a little bit, all the way around. I'm going to go kind of fast through articulation since we have so many of them here. Arms can go up that far. So his shoulder pads doesn't really block it at all. His shoulder pads kind of collapse into his chest a little bit there, which that could maybe rub some of the paint off, so watch out for that. All the way around. He actually has a bicep swivel, so the Cersei and Makari, they didn't. His elbow, not that good, maybe just a little past 90 degrees. Doesn't have a swivel at the elbow. Hands, swivel, and on a hinge. Just like that. He's got the same chest joint. Can't really crunch forward at all. Lean back, kind of okay, not the best. A little bit side to side. Of course, twist at the chest here. So again, he's got the longest skirt of any of them. So we'll see about the legs here. So his legs come forward about that far, but you'll see that does disrupt and bend his skirt piece quite a bit. Come out about that far. Knees on these figures are really good. So you got the double knee there. And feet can come in quite a bit. Go out quite a bit. Tilt up. And tilt down there. So So again, really good articulation on these figures, and they're all about the same there. So, but I'm going to guess we're going to be able to get some decent poses here. So Kingo, he's going to be about the same. Look up about that far. Down, not as much. Seems like he doesn't look down as much as Druig does. Maybe he's got a higher collar. It looks about the same. Little bit side to side. Of course, left and right, just like that. Arms go up, straight out. He has the bicep swivel. Of course, all the way around. Bend at the elbow. Just about 90 degrees. So his elbow is actually worse, I would say, than Druig's was. Hands, of course, are the same on the hinge and can twist. Same at the chest. Not really forward much at all. Pretty good lean back. And, well, I don't know, not that good of a lean back. Side to side a little bit. Twist. Twist at the waist. Legs, so he does have a cut here, so we'll see. Legs, only about that far up. Out about that far, so it doesn't look like as far out. Knees, again, knees are really good on all of these. He's the only one, I think, with different colored shoes than his legs there. But feet go in a long way. So we go in that far. Twist out a long way there. So really good movement at the ankle there for Kingo. Okay. Alright, so Phastos. Again, probably very similar here. Look up. Pretty decent look up. Pretty decent look down. Twist. Side to side. He may have the best head articulation of any of these four. And he's got the best arms as far as how far up they go. I think so far Makari has had the farthest that the arms would go up. But that goes a little bit past 90 degrees there. Bicep swivel. Elbow. Little past 90 degrees. Same hands, of course, on the hinge. And can twist. Same with the chest. He's got better lean back, I think, than the first two. Not really any crunch forward at all. Little bit side to side. Twist at the chest. So as far as the waist goes, again, his suit is cut up here, so it might not hinder his legs as much. So legs go out about that far. Out to the side, about like that. Same knees. Okay, so him, I can't actually bend the knee all the way because of his back piece here. So again, with that long skirt, if I turn it to the side here, looks like his knee doesn't quite want to bend with the double joints. So not getting as good of knees out of him. Very good in and out on the foot. And of course up and down. So no toes, no toe articulation on any of these, but that's not really that useful usually. Okay, Sprite is the last one. Again, having trouble getting Sprite to stand up. I think I don't know, the feet aren't really small in proportion, but they're but I don't know, something about this one isn't standing up as well. Alright, so look up. Perhaps the best look up of all of them. I don't know, maybe not. I think Druig still has the best look up. There's look down. Side to side. More side to side tilt than the other ones. Twist left and right. Arms go up that far. So out of these four, this is the best as far as arms going up. Twist at the shoulder. So this one has the swivel at the elbow and not at the bicep. So that's what we also saw with the Makari and the Cersei figures. So all the men in this line have the bicep swivel, and the women have the elbow swivel there. Much better elbow than the other three here. So further past 90 degrees. Again, hands, turn on a hinge. At the chest, even less ab crunch, I think, than the other ones. Very little crunch forward. That's the tilt backwards. Side to side a little bit. Of course, twist. Twist at the chest. So, Sprite, however, should be the least hindered in the legs due to the design of the costume here. So indeed that is true. So legs can go up that far, so well past what any of the other ones can do, and out that far, so again well past what the other ones can do. Has a thigh swivel, looks like it at least. I'm not getting it to turn. It looks like there's a thigh cut there, but it's not wanting to turn, and in fact there goes the leg. There we go. So perhaps not a thigh swivel, just kind of looks like it. Knee though, very good knees. All these figures have really good knees. Until they play a lot of sports, you know, and then they tax the knees a lot, you know. Anyway, though, articulation-wise, they have really good knees. All right, very good at the ankle. In a long way. Out a long way. Up and down. Okay, so that's the articulation on all of these. Pretty good on all of them. About the same for all of them. We'll see if we can get Sprite to stand up here. So this is an issue. Sprite's the only one really that I'm having trouble with standing. There we go. Nope. All right, well, next we will see what accessories they come with. Okay, so all these Eternals figures are pretty bad as far as accessories go. They don't really come with a whole lot, but remembering what they do in the movie, you can't really think of too much that they could come with, but they all pretty much only come with extra hands and then the Build-A-Figure parts. So that's one of the things I don't like about the whole Build-A-Figure concept, is that, you know, at the price point of these figures, you can only put so much plastic in each package, right? So if you have an extra large Build-A-Figure part, such as the one that comes with Sprite that we'll see in a second, the figure itself can suffer, right? So I've seen the pictures of the upcoming TV show version Miss Marvel figure, and she comes with no accessories at all other than the torso of the What If Ultron Build-A-Figure. So I would much prefer a non-Build-A-Figure that came with, you know, some effect parts to replicate her powers and things like that. So we'll do the best we can here, I guess, and just take what we get. But anyway, Druig is up first, so all he comes with are two fists, a right fist and a left fist. That's it. And he also comes with Gilgamesh's head. So that looks pretty good, actually. I think that's a pretty good likeness to the actor. I don't remember that actor's name that plays Gilgamesh, but I think that's a pretty good head sculpt. Painted really nicely. Maybe one of the better head sculpts out of the set. So that's all that Druig comes with, accessory-wise. So next up, Kingo. And Kingo is by far the best as far as accessories go in this series. So he comes with a left fist. It'll focus there. It's the same as any other fist there. Doesn't want to focus on that. Anyway, it's a fist. And he comes with, well, that was his, no, he actually has two left fists. Well, how about that? You know what? One of these fists is, I'm thinking one of these fists is Gilgamesh's left fist. Yeah, so you can see they are a little bit different in color. So one of these fists is Gilgamesh's left fist. See if it'll focus on those. There we go. Alright, so one of these is Kingo's fist. One of them is Gilgamesh's. Because he has a right fist on the figure already. But then his other hand is his kind of energy shot hand here. So Kingo is the only one of all of these figures to come with any sort of effect part to display his powers. So I'm definitely going to use those here. We'll switch out the fist. He came with one of the effect part hands already on him. We'll put the other one on him. And now he can really do some good finger guns here. So again, I would think Kingo's probably my pick for best figure in the line, just based on how many colors his suit has and the fact that he actually comes with some effect parts. So his only other accessory is Gilgamesh's left arm here. Okay, so as far as Phastos, he just comes with 2 fists, just like Druig did. Left fist and the right fist. Again, they're focusing. There they are. Just some fists. And he comes with Gilgamesh's right leg. Okay. And then Sprite, again, only comes with 2 fists. Tiny little ones that you're going to lose. There we go. And Sprite also comes with the largest accessory of all of them, which is Gilgamesh's torso here. So again, as I was saying, you know, you can only fit so much plastic in a package, right? So we get the Sprite figure, and if we get essentially, you know, most of another figure with her here, so that means she can only come with 2 tiny little fists as the only accessories. So I don't like that too much, but, you know, what are you going to do? Now, you can see here already that the Gilgamesh figure is going to also suffer from just having 2 colors. His suit is just green and sort of a copper color. So, unfortunately, he won't end up looking as nice maybe as some of the other ones. But that's all for accessories. So what we're going to do next is going to bring in the Build-A-Figure parts that came with Makari and Cersei. And we're actually going to build Gilgamesh here. Okay, so if you saw my last video, you'll know that Cersei came with Gilgamesh's left leg, and Makari came with his right arm. Alright, so we'll get him put together here and see what we've got. So here is the torso. We've got this looks like the right leg. There we go. So it looks like he is going to be bigger than the rest of them. Here comes his left leg. There we are. Well, maybe not. He's going to be about the same height. I mean, a little bit taller, I think. There's his left arm. And his right arm. And we'll get and all form the head. That's a Voltron reference there. There we go. Alright, so there we have the Gilgamesh Build-A-Figure. So again, like I said, that was my first Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure. So pretty neat. Right? He's a little bit bigger than the rest of them. Maybe just a little bit taller, just a speck. Phastos might be the tallest one. Well, they're about the same. About the same height here. Gilgamesh probably has the simplest suit. He has as much, you know, detail, geometric pattern detail as anybody else. But I think he's got the simplest in terms of painting, maybe. Again, it's just green and kind of a copper color. And it's not, I don't know, doesn't seem quite as ornate maybe as the other suits. But once he's together, he is essentially, you know, a figure just like all the rest of them. Like I said, this is my first Build-A-Figure, so I thought, you know, maybe they could be a little bit flimsy, you know, since you have to put them together, but he seems like he's right on par with all the other ones. And good articulation, just like all the others. Alright, so we'll do some size comparisons next. Okay, so we'll do some size comparisons here. So, as you can see, these figures all look pretty good together. They're all scaled pretty well for each other. Of course, they have, you know, sort of a cohesive costume design, so they look pretty nice together. First, we'll bring in the other Eternals that I have. So we'll bring in Cersei here. We'll see if she stands up. Probably not. They do have some standing issues here. We'll lean her up. There we go. Alright, so there's Cersei. And we'll bring in Makari over here. She probably won't stand up either. Maybe. Just maybe. Almost. If I did a different pose, you would. There we go. Alright, so there's all of my Eternals figures together. Again, they look pretty good all together. I should be able to get a pretty good display out of them. As I mentioned, Icarus and Ajax are in this set as well, but my GameStop didn't have them on deep clearance, so I probably won't get them. So for some other comparisons, here they are with Marvel Legends Wenwu. So he fits in pretty good there. All your Marvel Legends, of course, are going to be in pretty good in scale with each other. He's a little bit shorter, but I've got him in kind of a pose there. Here they are with a typical 12-ounce beverage can. So you can see how they compare to that. Of course, they all fall over. I'm going to stick it in there, but you can see how they all compare to a typical 12-ounce beverage can. Here they are with the McFarlane Toys She-Spawn figure. So you'll see that your McFarlane Toys, of course, are not in scale with these. They're going to be quite a bit bigger. Your Marvel Legends are all on the kind of 6-inch scale. And your McFarlane Toys, of course, are on the more 7-inch scale. So any of your, you're not likely to have these fighting your DC characters, right? Because they'll be a lot bigger. I'm holding on top of her head here because she won't stand up either. So most of these won't. They're not too bad as far as standing goes. Then, as always, here they are, of course, with John Cena. So they don't look too bad, and they're kind of in scale with him. The wrestling figures are kind of somewhere between, I think, sort of the 6-inch and the 7-inch scale. So they don't look bad with them there. All right, so these are all the Eternals figures. Got them on very deep clearance. You can check your GameStop for very deep clearance or wherever figures are sold. These are pretty good figures, especially if you can get them cheap, right? Since the costume design was the best part of the movie, that means the figures are good. Alright, so thanks for watching. Please stick around for some dramatic poses. That's what we'll do next. And we'll see you in the next review.